right. Well, greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am Cosmic Kev, your host, and it's so wonderful to be with you on July 6th, 2018, in the summertime. It's Merv Griffin's birthday today, and it's also 50 Cent's birthday. So, happy birthday. I don't think Merv's with us anymore, but I think Curtis is, he's been shot, 50 Cent. I saw his video. And, yeah, he was born in 75, so I don't know. Do the math on that. I guess that makes him 43 today. All right, so what do we got? We've got a moon in Aries today in the nakshatra of Revate, which is the last nakshatra, or lunar mansion, and it deals with roads. Its ruling deity is Pushan, which encourages foster care and nurturing, but anything to deal with timing and roads and connections, beginnings and endings, is in this particular moon, which in Western astrology is an Aries moon, but it's not all the Aries moons, it's just the end, the middle and end part, not the total end, because the total end becomes real Aries. And so that's what's going on. We also, this week, Thursday, late afternoon, right before sunset, we have a new moon and a solar eclipse in, I think in the nakshatra of Punavarsu, which is Jupiter ruled. And so there's powerful stuff here. And it's like, if you want to start on your spiritual path or any kind of journey, what's going to happen Thursday is super powerful. And it's auspicious. And I'd love you to start your journey and enjoy your journey. I might start a journey that day. I'm really tempted to. Yeah. So, what do we got going on in the stars? Well, I'm glad you asked that. What happens this week? I think there's a change. I sense there's a little change this week. Yeah, Venus is going into Virgo, right? Yeah. Venus goes into Virgo Monday evening. And so, see her move out of Leo into Virgo. Now, one of the things I want to say about this is it's debilitated. So it's not necessarily like the greatest, most wonderful place for Venus to be, at least in either Western or Vedic zodiac. I mean, Vedic zodiac, it's still in Leo, so it's not so bad. It's actually pretty good. So, but it's also, it's like the Venus I've heard of the naturalist, somebody who likes to just like get naked and swim naked, and enjoy the earth, roll around in the earth. So that's a cool part of it. So anyhow, with that said, sign by sign, we're going for it. Aries, we're starting with you. So we've got a moon in your first house for today, and as of tomorrow, will be Ashvini Nakshatra, and it's moving into the western zodiac sign of Taurus. We'll conjoin with Uranus, so it's an exciting weekend. Exciting things are about to happen, so you can get excited about it, right? And there's a sense of freshness. There's a sense of newness after Thursday, right? So you wake up Friday morning next week feeling so great. So the new moon is actually on the 12th. Yeah, it's important to know that. In this part of the world, in Europe, it'll be on the 13th. But here in the western part of the United States, it is on the 12th. And Mars is retrograde in your 11th house, so what you're wondering right now is like, I'm attracted to parties, but I want to party with people that are a little bit deeper. And I'm feeling a little more shy than my usual Aries self. There's part of me that's like, I want to have fun, but I want to consider things, so there's this like consideration coming in you. And, money is really unpredictable with Uranus in the second house. So it comes and goes, surprise. And maybe your spouse is doing better this year economically because of Jupiter. where it's at. Right now it's more about introspection, trying to have a home life, thinking about your mother, thinking about older relatives. That's all part of what's happening this week. Okay. Exit Aries, enter Taurus. Greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. So yeah, Uranus continues to move forward in your sign. And yeah, those of you who are April-born Tauruses, this is where the shake-up and the wake-up and the excitement begins. Especially if you're born between the 20th and the 25th. Those people are really, you're getting the shake-up right now. You're getting the wake-up, the shake-up. And if you live in the state of Jefferson, there might be a wake and bake-up. You know, it's possible. Although I think now that cannabis is so available, especially in California and Oregon, that, you know, I think people are like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm backing off just a little bit. And so Venus is moving into Virgo, and Venus is going to conjoin, rather trine, not conjoin, but it's going to trine Uranus later on this week, and so this unconventional kind of sexuality is permeating the year, and it's like, oh my gosh, here I thought I was going to be celibate for a while, and suddenly I'm getting come-ons, I'm getting takers, I'm getting shocked, you know, and so that could be part of the mojo. I mean, let's face it, Jupiter in the 7th house is going to break out better relationships for you. Especially if they're higher-minded spiritual people. On the worst end, they're going to be drunks and gamblers and spendthrifts. And so you got to kind of want to avoid those people in a lot of ways because they can erode what you have. But even with, you know, Saturn and Pluto, it's softer for you because that's in your 9th house. And so you're learning through transformation. You're learning through your limits. And you're learning that there's good fortune in this. Well, hello Gemini, and welcome to your horoscope. You know, the moon will be in Gemini on Monday and Tuesday till late Wednesday morning. So those are really active days for you. That's days where you're getting a lot of information. Now, Mercury is in your 3rd house, so you got a lot to talk about. But Venus is moving into your 4th house. So it's time to fix and decorate and beautify the house. Maybe you want to break out those summer aloha themes, so you can be all aloha about things, or Jamaican maybe, or, you know, Indonesian, or some Thailand, or some tropical country that seems amazing to you. Working on improving your health. It couldn't hurt. Bringing the best. You've gotten through a lot of embarrassing situations. I mean, let's face it, with Saturn, Pluto in the 8th house, there's some heavier, embarrassing things to deal with. But if you approach things with curiosity and a spiritual foundation for relating to the public, looking for the good in everyone, you're going to do okay. Uranus in the 12th house, yeah, it's going to make you want to be a little bit more of a rebel. There's not much I can do about that. I think I'll go to Cancer now. Okay. So, greetings Cancer, welcome to your horoscope. I mean, this is your time. Happy birthday, all right? If you're having a birthday this week, I want to wish you a happy birthday. Today, my friend Jesse Silverman over in the Bay Area is having a birthday. What are you? I think you're like 52 today. Cool beans. You know, he's got 3 lovely kids and a lovely wife, and things are lovely over there. Let's see, my friend Jen Clicius is having a birthday today. Hello, Jen. I think Jen's 43 today. Doesn't look a day over 33. So happy birthday to you, and happy birthday to everybody having birthdays, you know. Okay, so what does this Venus moving into Virgo thing have in store for you? Well, it's going to make you want to do more art, work with your hands, make things more beautiful. Mercury in the second house, along with the North Node, you've got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of issues involving family, a lot of issues involving money. Jupiter in the fifth house, it's helping you. It's softening any challenges you're having with them, and it's making you a better teacher, a better lover, a better heart opening, a better relationship with children. Saturn and Pluto in the seventh house, you're changing the way you look at relationships. And some of it's kind of tough stuff. It's not all easy. It's not all fun. Mars is in the eighth house, so you're kind of impatient for change to happen. And we all want it, but it's powerful. And how do you deal with this? Let other people share power. Be patient with those who owe you money. Ask those you owe money to be patient with you. Spiritual exploration. Okay. So, an eccentric, active social life. All these things are happening at the same time, believe it or not. Well, greetings, Leo. So this is the last weekend for you to have Venus in your first house. So, I would say love like there's no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah, so you've been wearing it well. And now, you got Mercury in the first house. You still have the North Node of the Moon. So you've got this hunger that has no bottom. And you're wanting more information. And you're wanting people to respect you. But you're also in the blind spot, you know. And the moon's going to be there later this week. On Thursday. And the sun's there already. So, I would say release, release, release. And don't blow it off with overconfidence, because that's something I've seen you do before, and it really turns people off. I mean, if you could just approach it with humility, and some of you are good at that. You know, I don't want to mention names because a lovely person that broke my heart completely has a harder time with that. You know, but now it's time to be more direct with your communication. Be more upfront with it. And sometimes you have to take alternative routes. With Rahu, everything's a little bit more alternative. And you got to realize that you can be a part of your own undoing right now. It won't be so much like that next week. You know, your vibe will start changing, even after the new moon. But I just want to give you a little heads up on that. Okay. Hello, Virgo. Now, why is Venus in Virgo considered debilitated? It is because criticism ruins relationships. I recently was with somebody who liked to criticize language, even if it was joking, even if it was just commonly accepted. It's like, oh, well, this is this. And in some ways, it's like, yeah, you're correcting me, but in other ways, I think you're trying to show me how smart you are and how sensitive you are, and I get that, but what you may not be seeing is the intention. So if you just criticize people and you don't acknowledge what their intention might be, you come off as aggressive, as nitpicky, and as kind of a buzzkill. And so, and the funny thing is, you know, this person wanted to be anything but a buzzkill. They were like, forget about your hard times, I just want ease and make it all good. It doesn't work that way. You acknowledge the whole person and they're able to pass through the difficulties more easily. And the very thing you don't like about others often, which in this case it was ruminating, going past over things that were difficult, you end up doing the same things yourself. So anything you're uncomfortable with other people, you generally speaking, is what you do. Okay, Virgo, I'm calling you out. But here's the good news. Okay, you have a wonderful social life. You're surrounded by great friends right now. So this is like the perfect time to throw a party. I sort of want to throw a party. You know, I want to throw a party. I love this time of year. And I love the feeling of extended tribe. And Virgo, you're the perfect person to do that. right now, coming up. Yay! Okay. Well, hello, Libra. I mean, Venus in Virgo is not so bad for Libra because it's in the 12th house, and that could be pleasures of the bed. It also could be that deceptive woman in the office that wants your job, or in the workplace. It's like, politically correct. That guy, he just told a nasty joke and da da da. Well, when people tell jokes, generally they just want to be loved. They're just trying to be funny. And yeah, sometimes jokes are dangerous and they can hurt people. But we need education and we need redemption. I think what we've come to is an unforgiving world. You just said that. That's great. Did you see what he just did? Oh, that's terrible. Oh, we'll never have this again. And it's like, your intolerance does not spread love. It spreads fear. And when you're living in a fear-based world, nobody's comfortable. You know that Libra rules the kidneys, and the kidneys are actually the seat of fear? So if you're in fear, you're not functional. You're not thinking right. Calm down, take a few breaths, think a little bit differently. And so this is a lot of stuff at the workplace because of your career. House has emphasized your leadership ability, your ability to interact and be in the public is ruled by Cancer, and that's this week, and that's what the new moon's all about on Thursday. So focus on how do you want to come across to the public. I think the more forgiving and the more compassionate we can be, the better people we are. When you can find a redemptive quality in someone who you think's a perpetrator, and that might even be finding a good quality about Donald Trump or something, I mean, you actually become kind of a bigger person. And famous Libra, Jimmy Carter, said he feels that Donald Trump has been treated more unfairly than any other president in history. And I thought that was really interesting for him because this is a guy who endorsed Bernie Sanders. This is a guy who really was like not feeling what the DNC was doing in any ways and suffered a lot of unjust persecution from his own party and certainly the Republicans. And so I like Jimmy because he's compassionate and he's a Libra. And he builds houses for homeless people and people that can't afford it. And like your Mars is in the 5th house, there's this energy of generosity in you right now. And there's this like spiritual principle through service with Neptune in the 6th house. And this weekend is kind of romantic for you. It could get really deep. And when you take it there to that deeper level, well, everything gets better. And I think you have a certain wealth that's going to help. So when you help others with that wealth, it only increases. Well, hello Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, we've got Mars retrograde in your 4th house. So you might feel a little bit introspective. You might feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Or you might feel like, hey, I want to get a new car. Sometimes people with Mars in the 4th house end up buying a new car, and they're feeling dissatisfied with their vehicle. I mean, I'm kind of like, on the Ralph Nader train about vehicles. It's just like, it's a bunch of fluff and image and waste. But then again, I see a classic car show and I'm like, God, look at the art that they did. And and this is one of the safe ways for masculinity to show their creativity is, oh, look what I did to my car. It's really kind of funny in some ways. So cars are really a lot like Mars. And Scorpio, especially if you're an October Scorpio, there's all these unconventional relationships. Venus is moving into your 11th house, so socially there's a lot of flirtation going on and parties. So you might have women inviting you to parties. You might even have women trying to fix you up with other men or other women, depending on, which side of the spectrum you're swinging towards these days. And there's a lot of good fortune. There's a lot of luck in you because the Sun and Jupiter are friends. And, right now we've got Sun and Jupiter trine each other. So I think this is like good times, and it's a romantic weekend because the moon's going to be in your 7th house. So I say love like there's no tomorrow. Just open your heart, Scorpio, and just feel the love, receive the love, generate the love. Okay. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, yes. Love can be dangerous. It can lead to complications. It can lead to people borrowing each other's vehicle. And I mean, as far as you go, when I see that Mars in the third house, I'm like, well, you might want to check your vehicle during this retrograde time because it might need a look over before you go on that trip. I hate being stranded someplace and have to be towed. Make sure you've got all that together. Your AAA or your car insurance, being able to cover something like that, because otherwise it costs a lot of money and it's not fun. It's not fun paying a lot of, and it's probably cheaper than what the repair is going to be, but I'm just letting you know from experience. This white hair didn't come from just like being born yesterday. And you're also learning to manifest things in a way that's real and magical, because Pluto's kind of magical. And Saturn's about realism. And I think right now, if you go turn to your spiritual life and your spiritual source, you're going to get what you need. In your meditation and looking towards spiritual things, that's the way out. Because the way out is in, folks. So that's the truth. Yeah, way out is in. All right. So, hello, Capricorn, and welcome to your horoscope. So, all right. So, I mean, having Saturn in the first house, no biggie, because you're fine with this energy. Slow, practical steps for doing things. Having Pluto in your first house scares some people. I don't think Pluto in an Earth sign is really the worst thing. It's like, let's re-examine how we work with money. Let's re-examine how we work in the workplace. Re-examine how we work on careers. That's what Pluto in Capricorn is saying. It's about a re-examination, When Pluto is in Virgo, is a re-examination how we deal with workers, how we deal with minorities, how we deal with the ecology and the environment. Okay? So we're going through something similar. Mars in the second house. In this way, it's easy to fly off the handle and say something aggressive, especially to a family member. And so you want to look at that, maybe there's an injury to your neck because you moved too quickly. You want to fix your teeth and your cavities. This weekend looks fun, though. It looks like heart-opening love. More heart-opening love is going to be a good thing. Romance with this new moon. Yeah. I think your love life, Capricorn, is about to get better. See, I think that's good news. I'm kind of excited about it, really. And even Uranus and Taurus is like taking risk with your heart is going to reward you. Yeah. You're going to be rewarded for that. So don't be scared, but focus on what you really want and clear the way. It says, I'm welcoming this. Oh, I would welcome. I'm open to that. Use those kind of adjectives. It really helps. And you got a lot of insights. This is good stuff. That's why you're tuning in, right? Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope. All right. So I was telling you all about this self-discipline, self-examination with Mars retrograde in the first house. It's self-improvement. And, I mean, in the Vedic system, it's in Capricorn, and most of you Aquariuses are Capricorns in the Vedic system, so this is an exalted place. You're showing real leadership right now. And you know what? You're showing a kinder leadership. You know what happens when a planet gets retrograde? Some people in Western astrology say, well, it gets weaker, or it's not functioning as well. Well, that's kind of true, but you're missing this other point. Like in the Vedic teachers, what they'll say about this is that the planet is actually slowing down, and so its beam is stronger. It's getting closer to the Earth. It's focusing more on you. So in a way, you might have more energy. And with this energized feeling, you're able to bless yourself and others more. Okay? It's not so bad. You don't feel as stable because of Uranus in the fourth house. So you're like, oh my gosh, do I like where I live? Can I stay there? Is there upset in my home? Oh my gosh, my parents were always staunch Democrats and now they're siding with Trump all of a sudden, or some weird thing like that, or they're staunch Republicans and now they're you know, really wanting to look at the left and embrace that. You know, these things happen. It's okay. You know what? Politics are tricks, and it's all the bankers and the puppet masters, maybe even the aliens and cell phones and internet and all that stuff. And it's like, it distracts us from the real stuff, which is just loving each other, holding each other, having space for each other, being compassionate towards one another. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff, people. These are human beings, and they were all babies at one time, and they probably didn't get what they need, and that's why they're on all these weird tangents. So, you know, everybody needs a hug and a cookie once in a while. You know, that's all it takes. You know, and so this is my hug and cookie forecast. And yeah, you've had a lot of love lately, but that love's getting intense now. And because you're an air sign in Western astrology. Air signs in Western astrology are kind of cold. You know, they're kind of like, oh, back off from all that intimacy. It's just too much for me to handle. Well, if you can't get into that intimate place, you're never going to go to the heights. Ooh, calling you out. And I want you to be able to go to the heights, because I think ultimately you really want that. Okay. Hello, Pisces. Hi. Welcome to your horoscope. Yeah, so we're winding this whole thing up now. And this has been a lovely time for you, because Sun in Cancer trines Pisces. You know, we're in that middle part of Cancer time. And so you have a lot of good fortune, and Jupiter's in Scorpio in your 9th house. So that activates more good fortune. It activates more love. It activates more spiritual dimensions. It activates courageousness to move forward. It activates your dharma, which means acting on the right thing, moving towards the right thing. That's what you're doing. You know, and that's what you should be doing. Now, Venus is moving into your 7th house. Ooh la la, you know. So, you know, Pisces is the object of our affection and love right now. I shouldn't have been flirting with my friend's Pisces girlfriend. I know that, you know. But it's okay, because you know, I'm backing off. I'm looking for spiritual love. I'm not looking for mamby-pamby. If they don't have a passion that's to follow a higher path, it's likely going to derail you from the higher path. So it's really important to consider these things in relationships. And when we're young, we don't. We consider that, well, he's just so confident and charming, or she's so hot looking and amazing. And, you know, it's just like, okay. Stop looking at the surface. Start looking at people's souls. And Pisces, you're good at that. So let's bring more soul into our love. Let's bring more soul in our creativity. Let's bring more soul to our path, which we're all on. And you know, some parts are easy, some parts are rough. And welcome this new moon, because it's going to generate a lot of good things for you. I can't wait to be with you next week when we do this again. Cosmic Cat with the Planetary Persuader, because I love you.